in order to function properly or fully about our intelligence, good health also very, very relevant. So therefore, you see, taking care about our body is very important. Now, in this planet, since a few thousand years, you see, the people eventually, you see, invented, you see, the so-called medicine, you see, to cure some illness or preventive measure. Among them, Ayurvedic, Chinese traditional medicine, and also in the West, or Egyptian civilization, and there are different medical system. Then in India, Ayurvedic, of course, eventually, when after Buddhism, or when a time Buddhism reached Tibet in 8th century, at that time, according to Tibetan medical history, it mentioned in 8th century, under the leadership of Tibetan Emperor Songzang Gampo, Tisung Tezen, who also invited Shanta Rakshita from Nalanda University, great philosopher, great sort of logician. So he is really a father of Tibetan Buddhism, like that. So at that time, some kind of semi-international conference about medicine, medical system. That means Ayurvedic medicine, medical system, and the local Tibetan medical system, and the Chinese medical system, then the Unani system, and this is represent all scholars from these different traditions study or some conference. So it seems, you see, Tibetan, up-to-date Tibetan medical system, they are basically Ayurvedic system. Meantime, some Chinese system also there. The Unani system also, I think, there, including Tibetan, our own, Tibetan medical system.
High in the Himalayas is the ancient kingdom of Ladakh. A magical land, it is clad in the rainbow of prayer flags that sit high on the mountain passes. Enchanting monasteries cling to the edge of cliff tops, looking out onto the vast mountain peaks and the piercing blue sky. Mahayana Buddhism is the predominant religion practiced here under the spiritual leadership of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. The art and architecture, language, music and medicine all reflect this heritage. The main tradition of healing is Sowa Rigpa, locally known as Amchi. Practitioners of this tradition who have been providing health care to the people for centuries are known as Amchi. Amchi is derived from the Mongolian word Amje, meaning superior of all. In fact, their service is considered so invaluable that Amchis don't charge a fee for either the consultation they provide or the medicine they prescribe. Their knowledge of human physiology, mental preoccupation, and the medicinal properties of everything available in their surroundings is supreme. Indeed, in these isolated highlands of the Himalayas, Amchis provide succor to the people, alleviating their suffering. Sowa Rigpa today is practiced extensively across the trans-Himalayan regions of India, stretching from Arunachal Pradesh, Darjeeling and Sikkim in the east to Himachal Pradesh and Ladakh in the west. It has been the traditional method of public health in these parts of India for over a millennium now. In a culture that is deeply imbued in rituals and practices, Amchi healers, as well as the Chodpas and the Lamos, give a holistic choice in healing to the people. The Lamos source their origin to the shamanic practices of the ancient Bon faith that was prevalent in this region during pre-Buddhist days. This practice still continues in some villages. Lamos suggest ceremonies to ward off evil spirits and suck out poisonous material from the body. Chodpas and Lamos perform magic rituals for treatment, but both refer patients to the Amchi in case the patient needs proper medical attention. Sowa Rigpa, therefore, is considered a holistic public health method that takes care of overall well-being. The tradition of Amchi is passed from one generation to the next, and the first child, be it a boy or a girl, takes this responsibility.
मेरे पिताजी भी आमची का काम कर रहे हैं। पिताजी का पिताजी भी आमची कर रहे हैं। उनका नाम मानचुंग है। हमारे गांव का नाम ही मल्ला है ना, इसीलिए करना पड़ता है। गांव में भी पहले ज़माने में कोई डॉक्टर ऐसे नहीं होते हैं, आमची होते हैं। फिर इसलिए मुझे करने की शौक भी था कि दवाई करेगा तो अपने घर में बैठ के दवाई करेगा तो अच्छा भी रहेगा सोच के।
Besides being the village doctor, an Amchi is also a friend and guide. Installation of a new Amchi is a matter of celebration in the village. They have to take their passing out examination orally in front of the whole village, where they are examined by a panel of respected senior Amchis and elders from surrounding villages. This, in a way, becomes an opportunity for the prospective patients to know their healers. Presence of the Amchi is considered auspicious for any occasion, right from sowing to the birth of a child. Their additional role as onpos makes them similar to lamas in the spiritual realm and village life. They, along with the lamas, are invited to houses to perform prayers for the general well-being of the household and its members. The presiding deity of Sowa Rigpa is Sangasmangla, Bheshajya Guru, the medicine Buddha. Sitting in a contemplative mode, he demonstrates the power of healing. In his left lap, he holds the bowl that contains medicinal herbs. His right hand displays a twig of the myrobalan plant, the symbol of the power of all healing. The Buddha is considered to be the first healer who outlined this medical care system for the people who suffer due to ignorance. This supreme knowledge became a discipline of study in the ancient Buddhist University of Nalanda. The The Indian medicinal tradition of Ayurveda traveled along with Buddhism from India to Tibet by the 8th century during the time of Guru Padmasambhav.
I'm practicing Tibetan medicine for the last about 35 years. Tibetan medicine, or you can say Sowa Rigpa, is a traditional medicine of Tibet and also on the Himalayan regions. The diagnostic methods as well as the treatments is very traditional, and it has a similarity with Indian Ayurveda, because we talk about the 5 elements, and Indian Ayurveda also, accept the Panch Mahabhuta, and also in the Tibetan medicine. And the basic specialty of the Tibetan medicine is it is directly connected with Buddhism. And we say that the basic cause of the suffering is mind. Especially we talk about the ignorance. And ignorance is the remote cause from which you can get 3 mental poisons. That is the, desire, attachment, hatred, anger, and the close-mindedness. And from these 3, mental poisons, then you can get, in Ayurveda, they talk about the 3 dosha. And Tibetan medicine, we talk about nyepasum, means like vata, pitta, kapha, and we say lung, tiba, begin. And lung is any movement that we can get in our body, mind, and speech, is defined as lung. And the heat, which is responsible of, for the complexion, for the digestion, and all those things, because that particular heat is called chipa or pitta in Ayurveda. And the fluid or the watery part or the cooling agent that we can find in the body is called begin in Tibetan. In Ayurveda, they talk about kapha. Okay, therefore, you can say 3 dosha in Ayurveda and the Tibetan medicine nyepasums are very, very important to study. And unless we have the basic understanding of the characteristic of these 3 dosha or the nyepa, it is impossible to understand the basic cause of the disease.
The entire teachings of Sowa Rigpa are contained in the books of 4 tantras, the Gyushi. It was compiled by the famous scholar Sage Gyamtso in the early 17th century under the guidance of the 5th Dalai Lama. In Sanskrit, the Gyushi is called Amrit Hriday Anga Ashta Guhya Upadesha Tantra. It is written in question-answer form between a Rishi master and his disciple, who are emanation of the medicine Buddha. The principle of diagnosis in Sowa Rigpa is multi-pronged to understand the body and mind of the patient. This is best understood by the famous Blue Beryl Treaty by Sage Gyamtso. This set of 79 paintings document the fundamental concept of diagnostics and medication in a lucid visual manner. The painting of the root of physiology and pathology shows the correlation between health and disease. The first branch shows the body in harmony, and the second one represents disharmony. These 3 twigs show the 3 different humors that are ever present in the human body. They are called lung, thipa, and bekun. In English, they can be loosely explained as wind, bile, and phlegm respectively. In this twig, the 7 leaves represent each of the body constituents, such as blood, bone, marrow, muscles, etc. The third twig represents 3 excretions, such as urination, defecation, and perspiration. When the balance of these gets disturbed, then the body gets diseased. The next branch represents the causes, the conditions, and the locations. And those 2 red flowers symbolize good health and long life. From these flowers emerge the spiritual and material well-being that lead to eternal bliss. This leads to liberation of the physical body and its consciousness to a body of bright light. the darkness will all be cleared away and the room will be filled with light. People who learn to follow the noble path are in possession of the light of wisdom that will clear the darkness of ignorance.
In whole Himalayan range, you see, there are people who, through generations, you see, practicing Tibetan or Sowa Rigpa medicine. So sometimes, you see, people little bit sort of neglect about this sort of a practice. I think that now, for example, as I mentioned earlier, in New Delhi, all the allopathic facilities there, but there are cases, Tibetan medicine, some sort of help. So therefore, in this area, you see, people now should realize the potential of Sowa Rigpa's medicine, and therefore, people in this area, from younger generation, I hope more people, you see, taking interest and carry study. This is not only just for preservation of this ancient, useful tradition, but also, you see, can be very, very useful to the local people. Tibetan medicine, compare these allopathic medicine a bit cheaper. And then secondly, no side effect. And then, you see, you can earn something. So, I'm urging the people in this area, particularly younger generation or young student, please pay more attention about study of this Sowa Rigpa's tradition.
The Buddhist view holds that everything within the universe is in a constant state of flux, characterized by impermanence. Ego, attachment and desire lead to restricting our acceptance of such inherent dynamism of life. Suffering erupts because of ignorance. This manifests at the spiritual, mental and physical levels. Human efforts should be directed towards finding the right balance and living in harmony within and around. This leads to the upliftment of the soul and consciousness, and the ultimate liberation of the soul, the nirvana. The Gyushi, the fourth Tantra medicinal text of Sowa Rigpa, revolves around this philosophy. An Amchi has to see the world in this perspective.
ये मेरा पिताजी है। पिताजी शुरू से बहुत सालों बचपन से ही ये सीखा है, आमची सीखा है, एस्ट्रोलॉजी भी इन्होंने सीखा है। पेशेंट लोग आते हैं तो इनसे कंसल्ट करके दवाई लेते हैं, फिर घर में ले जाते हैं, फिर एस्ट्रोलॉजी की पार्ट भी उनका वो देखना होता है, हॉरोस्कोप वगैरह देखना होता है, फिर दुनियादारी जो कुछ भी होगा कैलकुलेशन वो एस्ट्रोलॉजी के हिसाब से देख के ही कुछ करना होगा शुरू करते वक्त। तो इसलिए से तो घर में तो तकरीबन ज़िंदगी भर घर में ज़्यादा देर तक रहता नहीं है। हर इस वक्त भी इतना उम्र होने के बाद भी घर में रहने का फुर्सत नहीं इनको।
अभी तो बूढ़ा हो गया, जी लगता है, नहीं तो नहीं चल सकता है, नहीं घुटना में। नहीं, मेरा बाप के बाप से सीखा है। बाप तो छोटे में गुजर गया, फिर बाप के बाप भी वो बूढ़ा होता है ना, उनसे हमको सब अमची जो है वो निमो में 5 साल बैठा है। निमो में वो निमो का अमची था ना, बूढ़ा अभी है नहीं, गुजर से गया। फिर वहाँ पार्क में बैठना पड़ता है पूजा करने के लिए, पूजा भी करता है ना मैंने। दूसरे एक आदमी नहीं आना सकता है, वो एक आदमी तो पहले से बैठता है ना, वही भाग के आदमी नहीं आ सकता है।
Here, in the Changthang Plateau of Ladakh, people have a nomadic lifestyle and live in tents. Reaching the nearest village to meet an Amchi can take days. The relationship is built on trust in Sowa Rigpa and faith in the Amchi. It tries to cure the root cause rather than treating the superficial suppression of the disease. Thus, people prefer Sowa Rigpa over any other kind of treatment. In this fragile social and geographical sphere, this livelihood is becoming increasingly difficult to sustain in a fast-changing rural economy. The Sowa Rigpa medicine system has been recently given approval by the Union Cabinet, recognizing it in the country under the Department of Ayush, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. It takes a multi-pronged approach for the revitalization of Sowa Rigpa.
For preservation and promotion of traditional knowledge, we had collaboration with Ladakh Amchi Sabha. So this Sabha was not that organized, though it was a very old association. So I tried my best to organize this system and brought all the Amchis of Ladakh and as well as the astrologer together on one platform. And we discussed what should we do for preservation and promotion of our tradition.
Many skilled Amchis are elderly, and their knowledge and a lifetime of experience represents the essence of the Sowa Rigpa text. Regular meeting with the Amchi Sabha is an opportunity to understand the actual practice of Sowa Rigpa. The Amchis are asked to note down unique cases and carry them back so that they can be documented for posterity. These come in handy as referrals for young Amchis in case they need guidance in their practice.
Earlier, I had my traditional education from my father, who is also practicing Amchi. We have decided in the family that if you want to practice this medicine in modern age, you have to have systematic education system.
The Central Institute of Buddhist Studies, Leh. It is a center of learning run by the Ministry of Culture, Government of India. CIBS offers a 5-year degree course in Sowa Rigpa. This attracts students from all over Ladakh as well as the other states in the Trans-Himalayan range.
Central Institute of Buddhist Study established in 1959. We give education in this institute called Panch Mahavidya, the great 5 branch of Buddhist study, I think, which was the syllabi of the ancient Nalanda. Chikitsa Vidya is, of course, one of the major subjects.
The curriculum at this school is run in affiliation with Mensi Khang, the Tibetan Medical and Astro Institute, Dharamsala, in Himachal Pradesh. Mensi Khang has created a unique curriculum on Sowa Rigpa education with the blessings of His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
This is the 16th batch of the medicine and 8th batch of the astrologer. Doctors who are training in this is actually trained for 5 years in a very strict for learning only the technician of Tibetan way of diagnosing through the urine, blood and pulse readings, so on. So the institution is now going much more bigger.
All literature of Sowa Rigpa is written in Tibetan language. The intricacies of this language are taught to the students to get a better revelation of Gyushi, the empirical literature on Sowa Rigpa.
Yushi is the main textbook name of the Sowa Rigpa. All the Sowa Rigpa's textbooks are in Tibetan. One is that. Another one is that those who are professor here teaching Alitem, all are Tibetans. They only speak Tibetan language, and textbook is also only Tibetan. We have here one translation section here in the institute already. Those who are doing responsibility about translating the textbook. So the main textbook we have translated already 2 of the first Tantra and second Tantra, and the third Tantra will be translated in this year, or it may be on next year.
They are also taught astronomy, as the cycle of seasons and the stellar positions are integral to prescription for a disease. They are taught the influence of planetary motion on human beings. They learn to create medical diaries of patients according to their date and place of birth. This is important in Sowa Rigpa treatment, as each is considered unique in this universe in reference to stellar position, geography and season. The route of diagnosis elucidates the 3 stems: visual observation, palpation and inquiry. Visual observation is the branch that looks into external physical symptoms such as the color and texture of eye, tongue and urine. Demonstration of diagnosis is conducted to get practical experience. Observation of urine is important, as it is said to be the mirror of internal functioning of the human body. Its color, viscosity, frothiness and turbidity can convey accurate signs of the imbalance of 3 basic humors. Palpation deals with the checking of pulse in the wrist, as it carries the resonance of internal parts of body. Pulse is checked with 3 fingers in both the hands. Each finger catches the rhythm of different internal organs such as heart, liver, kidney, lungs, spleen, etc. Inquiry is the third area of diagnosis. Amchi closely watches the patient, looks at his behavior and makes observation. Based on these observations, an Amchi prescribes medicine.
The botanical name of this plant in Tibetan medicine is Adatoda vasica. The taste of this plant is bitter, and the quality...
Students are made to go through rigorous tests of identifying metals, plants and herbs. The students also learn to make the right mixture of identified plants, herbs and minerals as prescribed. This skill will come in handy for them when they go to remote villages where they have to prepare medicine on their own. The mixture is pulverized and made into pills, which are given according to diagnosis. In extreme cases, Sowa Rigpa prescribes thermal surgical intervention in the form of moxibustion. Moxibustion involves applying heat in special points on the human body, which are connected to an internal organ. Heat is applied through rods and needles of specific metal, such as gold, copper, brass, etc., or through heated vacuum cups. There is not a single alphabet which doesn't carry the value of mantra. There is not a single root which is not a medicine. There is not a single person in the world who is useless. What is rare in this world is a coordinator to utilize them appropriately.
In the Himalayan range, from Ladakh up to Arunachal, these traditionally the certain very rare plant is found only in these high altitude area. So the local people, I think, should know this thing, and should protect this area, and if possible, some cultivation and multiply. That can be very useful. Local people can earn something, and those people who are who making Tibetan medicine, their ingredients, then it's more available. It's very, very helpful, mutual benefit.
Sowa Rigpa is a philosophy because it follows the key Buddhist principles like self-sacrifice, karma, and ethics. It can be considered as an art because the diagnostic techniques and composition of medicine are based on the creativity, immensity, delicacy, and compassion of the Amchi.
I joined over here to visit my family lineage, the doctor family lineage. If there will not be any obstacle towards me to become a qualified Tibetan doctor, I'm proud to say that I will be the 11th doctor of my family lineage of doctor.
अब मामा जी अमची है, तो मामा जी ने बोला कि अमची आज की डेट में बहुत अमची के लिए स्कोप है, तो आप अमची करो. फिर धर्मशाला में भी है वैसे इंस्टीट्यूट, तो वहाँ पे तो साइंस ही लेते हैं. मेरा तो फिर कॉमर्स था +2 में. फिर बोला मेरे मामा जी ने लद्दाख में जाओ, वहाँ पे 5 साल का अपना कोर्स करके आओ. फिर नौकरी के भी बहुत चांसेस है इसके लिए. फिर हम लोग अपने गांव में भी देख सकते हैं.
My name is Tibetan Sogye and I'm from Changdang village. ले सिटी से चंगदांग तो बहुत दूर है. There's so many problems in my village because the older people लोग तो अमची का मेडिसिन बहुत यूज़ करते हैं, इसलिए हमारे विलेज में अमची बहुत कम है. That's the reason I want to become an Amchi. So if I become an Amchi, then I will solve this problem.
I want to become an Amchi because it's our lineage to carry on the system of traditional medicine that is Amchi. And my grandfather used to be Amchi in Tibet. I have a hope since my childhood that one day I will become a great Amchi and serve old peoples or sick people.
Today, a practice of public health that dates back to over a millennium of continuous practice is being taken up by the youth with excitement and fervor.
And my mother inspired me to learn Tibetan medicine, so I decided to learn Tibetan medicine in Dharamsala. I completed in the 2006, and now I am very happy.
There is a lot of enthusiasm, among the younger generation. Many of these Amchis are very young people, and people are also recognizing the importance of this system. Recently, this system is recognized in Ayush under NRHM, and because of that, we are able to create some posts in the district for local Amchis. And they are now recruited and they are working full-time in all parts of Ladakh.
I'm from Markavele, which is very far from here, and it was my dream to become an Amchi to help people through the medicine. Since 2004, I'm working in this association, and we are going remote area to help people. This month, I'm recruited through NRHM to appointed in Chushul, which is very far, China border. I have appointed there.
मैं नुब्रा जिगर का है और मैं वहाँ पे एक क्लिनिक है वो चल रहा है. अभी इस महीने में मैं अपॉइंटमेंट हुआ कि अपने गाँव में.
They are venturing out to the most remote regions with skills to provide medical care to those in need. This will no doubt benefit the poorest of the poor in far-flung areas who will otherwise never ever receive proper health care.
When I asked the Amchis what is their problem in practicing Amchi system of medicine in rural areas, they have come up with 2-3 major problems. Number one was medicine was a big problem for that.
The next area of concern for the preservation of Sowa Rigpa today is its growing popularity. There is a growing demand for Amchi medicine. The pharmacy at Mensikang is working towards the streamlining of the production of Amchi medicine. Along with improving the knowledge base, materials are being brought and kept in cold storage to improve shelf life. They are hand-sorted to maintain quality in raw materials. They are then checked for the prescribed 6 basic tastes. The 3 post-digestive tastes from which the composition, properties and actions of medicine is inferred. Then it goes through various stages under supervision of Amchis to retain potency and effectiveness. Pills are made and sorted out in prescribed weight and size and packaged in modern blister packs for better distribution.
And we have also helped the local Ladakh Amchi Sabha to establish a centralized manufacturing unit. In that unit, they produce around 50-60 type of medicines.
This unit produces medicine in a clean, dry, hygienic condition and distributes to Amchis coming from far-flung areas. It also gives an opportunity to introduce new kinds of medicine based on suggestions made by the Sabha in its prior meetings. In its efforts towards the overall preservation of Sowa Rigpa, the government is working towards the preservation of herbs and plants that are the primary raw materials for Amchi medicine. It is promoting the creation of herbal gardens with practicing Amchis in this region.
वहाँ जो डोन में जो मेडिसिन उगता है, एनुला, कूट, पुष्कर मूल, यहाँ जो लेमन नहीं उगता है, वो सारे अभी यहाँ मैंने कल्टीवेशन किया. यहाँ से कूट और पुष्कर मूल अम्बरसर ले जाता है. वहाँ से एक्सचेंज करके हरा, बेड़ा, अमला और इलायची वगैरह वहाँ से लाता है. और यहाँ जो अमची काफ़ी है, ले में बहुत अमची 200-300 अमची है, तो यहाँ बहुत ज़रूरी है मेडिसिन.
You have to have the quality raw materials. So we are coming up with big herbal garden. It is on 11 hectares of land. We have already started developing the land, and we have also started cultivation on some portion of the land. And within 5-6 years, we hope that there will be one fully functional. It is called model herbal garden.
This garden on the banks of the Indus River will work as a nursery for the entire region of Ladakh. It will grow delicate and rare herbs and plants from the entire trans-Himalayan region. Amchis who are interested in creating their own herbal garden can take quality seeds and roots from here. There is an ever-growing demand around the world today for herbs grown in this region, as they acquire a heightened potency, growing as they do in extreme climatic conditions. This would reduce the dependence of the Amchi on markets and add to their revenue. This in turn will preserve the biodiversity and the genetic pool of rare plants that grow in this fragile region.
The major problem was the infrastructure. We didn't have much infrastructure for the office. So now we are coming up with 2 buildings. Big building, one is research cum administrative block, and one is 10-bedded hospital plus therapy center. As well as we will introduce also meditation there, or we will also try to introduce yoga there. So both the buildings are coming up very nicely, and we followed the traditional architecture while constructing these buildings. Now very soon, within 2-3 months, both the buildings will be completed.
The National Research Institute of Sowa Rigpa is working towards researching and cataloguing of ancient manuscripts from various available resources and to validate them scientifically. This cataloguing is being done digitally so as to archive them in computers. This will be of immense use in the future for new students and practicing Amchis, who will have quick and ready referencing during study and practice. Sowa Rigpa as a tradition is completely dependent upon the study of texts that contain its philosophy, diagnosis and plant identification. The Museum of Mensi Khang at Dharamsala is working towards preserving the materia medica of Sowa Rigpa for dissemination to former learners as well as for the public. Here, reproduction paintings of the Blue Beryl Treaty that elaborates methods for diagnosis and prescription are being preserved. The museum also houses ancient tools and equipment that were earlier used for surgeries and other physical interventions. Sowa Rigpa, or the practice of Amchi medicine, is being revived in the Trans-Himalayan region of India. As an initiative to preserve this effective practice, the Department of Ayush, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, has recognized Amchi medicine as an alternative method of practice in public health. Keeping in mind the faith people have in the Amchi, the state governments have created Amchi clinics in government hospitals. The Sowa Rigpa method of treatment is provided alongside modern medicine in hospitals in the Trans-Himalayan region of India. Here, people come from distant places and get access to multiple methods of treatment. This has led to the creation of new jobs for newly qualified Amchis. Here, youth from traditional Amchi families who have undertaken the formal course in Sowa Rigpa are being absorbed. They are preserving and continuing this tradition, which has been carried on by their fathers and forefathers. The Buddhist philosophy of compassion, which has nurtured the people in this region for so long, finds a new lease as it is carried forward to a new era. Your suffering is my suffering, and your happiness is my happiness. The spirit of the Buddha is that of great loving kindness and compassion. The great loving kindness is the spirit to save all people by any and by all means. The great compassion is the spirit that prompts it to be ill with the illness of people, to suffer with their sufferings.
Sowa Rigpa. So I very much appreciate this is very, very necessary and helpful. It's actually, this is not question of preservation of one sort of culture, one community or one nation, but this is long run serving to humanity. The allopathic medicine and these ancient medicine combinedly, I think, can be immense benefit to humanity.